Hi, hello, and welcome to today's first official episode of our podcast called D.D.D Discussions. My name is Laura.
And my name is Luma. Today's topic is going to be all about K-pop related words and phrases. And we have a lot to discuss, so let's get started.
And as we said in our introduction, this episode won't have a news flash because right now we're producing 5 episodes at once, and we don't want to give you outdated news. So stay tuned for this section of our podcast starting episode 6. We are also excluding new releases until we produce weekly because releases that are new right now might be already considered old by the time you get to listen to this episode.
Yeah, and that's why we're going to move on to our first real topic. Drum rolls. It's going to be K-pop related words and phrases. But we have a disclaimer for that one. We only cover some words. We have a lot, but not like the whole dictionary. So, yeah. Otherwise, it might be a little bit too much. But we have a lot to discuss right now. So grab some snacks and a blanket and, I don't know, get cozy or sit, chill in your seat in the train or wherever you're listening right now. Lol.
So, first of all, we want to introduce you to K-pop as a whole. A small Wikipedia quote, short for Korean popular music, is a form of popular music originating in South Korea. It includes styles and genres from around the world, such as pop, hip-hop, R&B, rock, jazz, gospel, reggae, electronic dance, folk, country, disco, and classic on top of its traditional Korean music roots.
By the way, that's actually a Wikipedia quote. And I didn't change anything. Literally, the beginning, short for Korean popular music is a form of popular music. Literally, that's on Wikipedia. I literally copy pasted that one actually. So if you don't like that sentence, judge Wikipedia, not us.
So to make it easier, K-pop is just an umbrella term for a music genre coming from Korea with a lot of other music genre in it. And the lyrics are mostly in Korean, but also has English impact. So sometimes the song has more English than Korean in it. And there are also a lot of groups doing English versions from of their title tracks and stuff. And also these days there's a lot more English in the songs than back then, actually. If you look at second gen-ish, third gen, and fifth gen now. So, yeah.
But let's move on. A really beloved word is also comeback. As people in Western music mostly use it when a singer reappears after a long period of time. For example, they released something back in 1984, or I don't know, when horses were still a thing. I don't know. K-pop fans mostly use this term for every time a group drops a new comeback, like a new song, album. So basically, Western artists is like, oh, didn't drop a song or an album for 3 years. Damn! Next week gonna be another song. Yay! We literally have oh yeah, last comeback was May last year. This comeback is gonna be January this year. 4 months between, I guess. It's still a comeback.
That didn't really make sense what you said. May last year and January this year are not 4 months, girly pop.
Yeah, that's why I repeated my
Not in this order.
3 times. But it's another topic for another episode, maybe, or maybe not. It's too personal. What? yeah. Go on.
And every comeback in K-pop has a concept of itself. So maybe one song might be bubbly and lively, like some cutesy concept. The next one might take a dark turn and just flip you out of your existence if you listen to it. And this more heavy music, as we say, noisy music stuff, and with darker concepts. There are some concepts that are repeatedly noticeable, like Y2K, Girl Crush, school setting, and also vampire theme are also not as rare as you might think. and some that are more like a little bit rare. Some punk styles or dark fantasy. I really love to see more dark fantasy concepts, to be honest, or like horror concepts and retro.
But not only does every album has a new like concept, every album has a new title track and new B-sides. And the title track is considered the main song of the album. Most of the time, it has like a music video, and with the title track itself, groups promote at music shows, make a TikTok challenge, etc. Where on the other hand, the B-sides are just considered the rest of the album. So, for example, if there's like you have 5 tracks in January, there's 1 title track and 4 B-sides. Yeah, so sometimes there is an exception, but that's pretty rare.
So, going away from like all those song comeback concepts and everything, there's a really often used term in K-pop, and it's the term ult group, or in a long form, ultimate group. An ultimate group is your favorite K-pop group of all of them. And some maybe just have one ult group, but there are also people out there with like 2 or 3 or even more.
Hi.
I mean, we're both not just have one ult group.
Oops.
And it can actually get a little bit frustrating or pricey if you have more than one old group, to be honest. Life gets harder. Believe me.
Nah. More happiness and more military enlistments.
You're gonna be a
Ow.
military wife even more if you stand by groups. With girl groups,
if you stand by
with girl groups, it's not the same thing. And sometimes we both wish we would be girl group stands.
Yeah, but the thing is, some girl groups, there's some pretty popular girl groups, but if we would stand like popular, like unpopular girl groups, we might even not have this kind of announcement sometimes. So I think it's 50-50. I think it's actually 50-50.
Not 50-50 the K-pop group though.
Yeah, but bro. Okay, moving on from old group, there's something else. It's an ultimate bias. Or the short version of it, it's old bias, actually. And as Laura said, you might have 1 old bias, 2 old bias, or maybe 7, like she does.
It's 6, okay? Not 7. Don't overdo it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I forgot to. Yeah, no, you forgot the imaginary one. He's in a group that doesn't even have debut right now. He's gonna come in like a year or something. But
what are you talking about? My imaginary friend thinks you have serious mental problems or what?
That's actually that's a thing that's like K-pop idol. I think was it Taedong or was it Jonghoon from OX?
It was Hyuk.
That
you idiot.
It was Hyuk.
It was Hyuk.
It was really Hyuk. Oh yeah, it was Hyuk because yeah. I remember. And he literally had a shirt like this, so yeah. We'd love to quote that one, and I still would love to have it, but so yeah, so Laura's like 5, 7, 20 old biases. An old bias is actually just similar to your normal bias. We're gonna come to bias in like the next word. But your old bias is a fan's favorite bias in the entirely thingy of K-pop, universe of K-pop. Yeah, not only just one group. Like it's a member from one group, but let's say you're a multi-fan, like 5, you stand like 5 groups or something. You like 5 groups, whatever. Then you have literally like from all of these 5 groups, you have that one person that's like your favorite person of all of them. And it doesn't matter like if the one group has 11 members, 5 members, 12 members, it's literally just that person. Or in our case, it's like I have 2 and you have 6. So yeah, that's old bias.
Yeah. And going like a step back from old bias, there's like the normal bias, and if you know the English language, you will know the word bias. Like if you're biased to something, and in K-pop we use the words to like a member of a group that is like our favorite member, and it's not as high as the old bias, like it stands above everything. A bias is like a little bit less than an old bias, but yeah. It's common that you like have one member in a group as your bias, but sometimes stuff happens. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. We don't know that problem, no.
Like, yeah, you have just one bias in a group, like not like almost having the whole group as bias, like a nice 11-member group where you just can't decide which one is your favorite. What?
Or maybe you have two
No.
11-member groups that you don't know
We
who
don't
your
talk about
bias is.
them. We don't talk about them. No.
Yeah, I know, it's
We-
another episode, but
It's nothing particular we're talking about.
yeah, go on. You still have explanation for that one.
Like, or you can have one or maybe even none because love all of them equally, or you go all the way and say you're like an OT and then like the number of the group bias. Like if there are 8 members in the group, then you're OT8 biased because like all of them 8. And often you choose your bias by position, personality, or maybe even hair color. Side eye on Ruma.
Yeah, I've heard it. Not that. No, I would never choose my bias because of hair colors. Oopsie.
But a quote we really love is, "You don't choose your bias chooses you." Actually, it often happens.
Yeah, I mean, I intentionally wanted to bias Sonu of the boys because he had red hair in Road to Kingdom. Yeah, let's say it got to Q. He also had red hair though. That's a funny thing. They both had red hair.
You and your fucking red hair.
Yeah, I just love it. I'm sorry. Just give me an idol with red hair. Put him in front of me, and I'm gonna be like, you're my old, not my old, but you're my bias now. Sometimes they evolve to old, but yeah.
And then he leaves. And what? I didn't say anything. You didn't hear me? Perfect.
Moving on to bias maker, actually. After your old bias and bias, there's mostly person trying to become biased by wrecking your bias lists. Sometimes that happens when a new album drops and you're like, oh my god, how did I never notice you or something? Or maybe after a concert. Like, most of the time I think people switch their biases after concert or they add someone to their bias list after a concert. Like the bias wrecker was like, okay, you're a bias wrecker. No, you're not bias wrecker anymore. You're now biased. Yeah, I mean, that happens actually a lot. So people actually make videos about that on TikTok. And this bias wrecker caught your eye, but still, like you still try to like. He's not your bias yet. Maybe you're gonna change your opinion, like your thoughts, like in the future. But most of the time, some idols actually stay bias wrecker like a long time, and then maybe they get level up to bias. Yeah.
Moving on to positions in a group, we're not gonna explain something simple like dancer or vocalist, but gonna start with the leader position. Like, the leader is just a common saying for the person taking care of the group, kind of. They resolve problems within the group, mostly speaking during interviews or like starting the introduction. Like, K-pop groups have their introduction something and they like start counting or start the first word and something like that. Or yeah, they also kind of want to try to save the members' idol image, and they're kind of like a parental figure. Like, we have our parents in a lot of K-pop groups, and like most commonly there's like Bang Chan of Stray Kids acting like a father or something like that. Yeah.
Mm. And on the other hand, there is the maknae. And maknae is the Korean word for someone in the group who's the youngest. So maknae is literally the word for it. And they're mostly considered cute, tiny, adorable, and you want to kind of protect them. And even the older members want to protect them. And sometimes they have something like the Hyung line. That's like the line with the Yeah, I don't want to say old people, but
Older member of
with
the
the
group.
older members. And then you have the Magne line with like the younger members of the group. So yeah. And they're mostly adorable. Maybe they're sassy, but they're adorable. And there's actually a word for it. Laura, go on.
And as they're all acting cute and adorable, there actually is the word called aegyo. I have the shivers actually just saying that word. The word aegyo describes the behavior. It's Korean, but also used by fans around the world. Some like it, some hate it. Same goes to idols, though. But I think 99% of idols cringe while having to do it. It's kind of a punishment while losing games. But some may also like doing aegyo, actually. Or some just find it funny. But yeah, we're not the biggest fans of aegyo, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to see them do aegyo and cringe after that. But even Idol actually does aegyo, it's like, ugh. Please stop.
Like serious ones, and also mean it's serious. It's like, no, thank you.
Yeah. We're out for that one, please. Moving on from that word, we're gonna go to visuals. Visuals are actually like idols considered perfect in the Korean beauty standards. And they're either above handsome or prettier than pretty. I can't even like literally explain what visuals is because it's just the visuals that make them visual. So sometimes they're gonna be used for thumbnails or stuff and be like, oh my god, so pretty and stuff. But yeah, there's actually not really an explanation for visuals. It's literally just that.
Yeah, they're like somewhat kind of maybe also a phase of the group.
Yeah, like for example, I'll just take Julian for that one because I think if you think about the boys, like if someone mentions the boys, first member that might come to your mind is Juyeon, Younghoon, or Kevin. But Kevin is just Kevin. He's the meme. He's the meme of the group. I mean Beyonce and twerking. But if I think most of the people that are like not into the boys but are like, oh my god, yeah, the boys, Julian, because he's everywhere. He's like on thumbnails, on fashion shows and stuff. So yeah.
And moving on from the visual position, is also the center position. And like the center position is just mostly like the idol that has the most like actual center position and like the dance formation and like during the dance and everything. And also like in the music video, they have a lot of screen time and everything.
And if the person in the center might be an ace of the group, I'm gonna explain the ace of the group. This person is actually considered just talented in everything they do. Like, whether it's rapping, dancing, singing, maybe they're just looking good. They have on and all. Like, literally, he's acing everything. For example, the group might have a show where they need to cook. And that person, literally, is like, he never made, for example, creme brulee or something. I don't know. Maybe a perfect, well done, rare steak. But that mate, or that member, he's like, oh yeah, I don't know how to do it. Literally gets Gordon Ramsay's approval or something. Like at the end of the day. Like, it's just, yeah, they're the ace of the group.
But ending the like positions and everything in a K-pop group, there's another very interesting word, and it's trainee. A trainee is still in training. Like the word trainee is not like just a K-pop word. It's also known very much normally.
Yeah, when I was an intern in my hotel, I actually also had a badge that was saying trainee, and I was like, oh, now I'm a trainee as well. So yeah, it's a universally used word.
Yeah, I also was like, I also volunteered like in a kind of camp, and there before I was the volunteer there, I also had to do like a program, and there I was also considered a trainee. So we were trainees sometime in our lives too.
Woo!
But yeah, a trainee is still in training and not considered an idol because they haven't had their debut yet. There are really a lot of trainees in every company, but just a handful of them get picked to be in a final lineup of a group, actually. Some even stay trainees for more than 5 to 10 years. Some only did training for a couple of months and get to debut. And they don't earn anything yet, like they don't make money by being a trainee. Sometimes they're even in debts to their company, to be honest. But they have a dream that they chase, so they go on, and like some of them give up because it's a hard industry to be in, actually, but a lot of them, even if they are a trainee for 5 to 10 years, they still don't give up because they have their dreams set, and yeah.
And moving on to a place with a lot of trainees, a survival show. But this term doesn't mean that they fight to survive with weapons or stuff like in the Hunger Games. Like, if a Western-minded person thinks like, oh yeah, survival show, are they getting killed? What are they gonna do? No, a survival show is actually just it's a show where they like get vocal, dance, and rap training, or other different lessons, and they need to compete in various challenges, like sometimes solo, sometimes in a group. And it's like perform this song and perform this hard song, and the next one is like do a cover of this thingy, like yeah, something like this. And by those stages, the viewers mostly can pick their faves and vote for them to be in the final lineup. And the final lineup is, I think, yeah, I guess in every show, a fixed number of people, mostly 1 to 9, sometimes 7 people in a group. And if you're, for example, if there's 1 to 9, then the 10th place can't be in the group. So idols need, like the trainees need to be very, like they need to stand out for the people to vote for them. AKA, the more popular a trainee, the higher the chance of their debut. So if you, for example, like, I don't know, I'll just take Boys Planet right now. If you liked Hanbin from the beginning, he was literally like, he was fixed in the group. I'm sorry, but he was literally made for that group. And Mnet literally did a good job with like getting him into the show. But yeah, he was pretty popular. But if you, for example, picked Keita, he was kind of popular. Not very popular. Yeah. Trauma. Please move on from survival shows and just yeah.
Yeah, and going from survival show to rookies. Rookies are considered groups that aren't in the industry for that long right now. They just recently debuted or maybe had their first comeback. But most of the times the status lasts for like a year-ish. After that, they have 2 options. Either they got popular or
they say Nugu. And the word Nugu is the Korean word for hoot. So actually, these groups are just underrated and haven't gotten popular yet. And to be fair, Nugu is mostly used in like the western part of K-pop fan, like the western part of K-pop, because when I was in Korea, no one called them Nugu group. Like I never heard that word kind of like in the combination with group. So yeah. And sometimes an underrated or Nugu group releases a banger, like literally Song of the Year or something. They get recognized. They literally get the recognition they deserve. But for the next comeback, they're unknown again, because sometimes some companies can promote their groups right, and people sadly like keep forgetting them.
And a good but hard way to prevent from staying Nugu is actually debuting in the big 3, aka the top 3 entertainments called SM Entertainment, JYP Entertainment, and YG Entertainment. Some people also consider now Hype as one of the big 3, like big 4 then, but these days I don't really think it's a thing anymore to call them big 3, because there are other companies gaining more and more popularity with their groups. Like KQ gained a lot of recognition because of 80s, or Wake One with Zero Base One, the outcome of the survivor show Boys Planet.
And we were, like you mentioned, Hype. That was a good thing because I got reminded that there's a word that also Western music fans and K-pop fans kind of use different, and that's a scandal, like scandals. Yeah, so obviously it's a scandal in K-pop, like in K-pop and in the Western part of music when the singer does drunk driving or worse. But sometimes in K-pop there's like things that idols do that fans. I hope you heard that my voice went like because yeah, fans think it's scandalous if idols smoke, if they go to parties, if they go clubbing, even just for the music, or if they're in a freaking relationship. Like some K-pop fans literally hate on idols for being in a relationship before they became idols.
Don't do this to me. Don't bring that up right now.
No, that's why I'm like stopping that one. That's for next episode. And those things, that stuff, like most of the time it just bothers Korean, Japanese, or Chinese fans. And I guess it's because like they think that it's not idol-like image. If like the idol smokes, yeah, okay. I mean, it's not a good influence on younger fans and stuff. But if the person, like if the idol is a grown man, that's
Or
like
a woman.
20, yeah, or a woman, like 20 to 40 years old, and people are like, "Oh my god, they're smoking." Yeah.
Oh no, my little idol can't be
Yeah,
smoking. He's still such a baby.
that's like interesting. I mean,
They
yeah,
should
okay.
stop.
It's like literally. I mean, I don't. I, I think Western fans, like American and European fans of K-pop, think it's not like it doesn't bother them that much because we're like kind of used to Western artists smoking and doing drugs, for example. But I think it's yeah, there's a pretty huge difference in Korean, Chinese, and Japanese, and like the Western part of fans when it comes to these kind of scandals.
Yeah. And if an idol gets caught like dating, smoking, etc., they either get cancelled and like are not in the group anymore because they throw them out of the group.
Yeah, stop with that. You're now hurting yourself. That's for next episode.
Or they need to go on a hiatus, aka a longer forced way to keep an idol out of the public after problems. But some idols use a hiatus because they need to heal from injuries or maybe even anxiety reasons. And this hiatus only applies for one member and not the whole group. So there might be comebacks of said group without specific member, but they will reappear in the next song again or the next one. Like some may take a hiatus for like 2 comebacks, some just one. Maybe a short hiatus where there isn't even a comeback in between it. And the duration of a hiatus also like varies from company to company or like because of the different reasons why they are on the hiatus.
Yeah, and if they're on hiatus and can participate in a comeback, they're for sure also not gonna be at concerts or fan meets. And fan meets are kind of like concerts, but at fan meets they mostly perform like some songs, like few songs. Sometimes they play different games on stage. They talk a lot, do question and answers, and might have like a special stage, like covers, or they come out dressed as their favorite, like as their group mascot. Well, I'm not sure how to call that one. How do you call that one if like 80s and 90s?
Like, yeah, if like most known, BTS has BT21 or like Stray Kids has Skazoo, 80s has NETs, and like those kind of not pets, animal-like figures of the members in like costumes of that.
Yeah, like they come out dressed as their own member, like as their own plush.
Own figure.
Wait, as their own version of them. No, wait, as their own version of them in the
Other
toy version.
universe?
Anyways, please move on.
But like, if they are on a hiatus, like still going on in the topic, and they don't participate in fan meets or concerts, they also won't be participating in fan calls or fan signs. Fan signs are offline events happening where people buy a damn lot of albums at a comeback and might be lucky enough to meet their idols and get the chance to talk to them for like 1 minute per member. Yeah, and actually, one thing that is the stuff with fan signs that is pretty shitty. Um, a lot of times, like the same people get into fan signs and fan calls, even though they've been like a lot of times, and other people that also have been trying a lot of for a lot of comebacks to get into a fan call or a fan sign don't even get the chance to like talk to their idol and just want to say something to them or meet them because like the same people on and on again get into a fan call or fan sign. And fan calls, on the other hand, kind of work like fan signs, but become popular during COVID. Fans get to get a video call from a company phone and are allowed to talk to the ad for also like 1 to 2 minutes. Also, after buying a good amount of albums and selling a kidney or two.
Yeah, maybe even their firstborn or siblings. Um, but while talking to your idol, or being at a fan meet, or a concert even, sometimes idols can provide fan service. And no, it's not the weird kind of fan service. We're talking like in K-pop, we're talking about holding hands, high fives, completing your heart, posing for your cam, or just take your phone and record themselves with it. Sometimes, mostly common in boy groups, they might splash a whole bottle of water on you. Like, yeah.
I experienced it a lot of times. Yeah.
And maybe that's just, a warning from my side, from my experience. If you see OX in Europe, maybe, or the boys in Europe, prepare an umbrella. Because Ye-chan last year took a shower at the last concert in May in Seoul. And I was like, I don't know, I was like 10th-ish, 11th-ish row. And I still had a splash of water on me. I have no clue. Like, how? But come on. Yeah, that's a fan service. Most of the time, if you're getting splashed by someone, we actually take it as a compliment. And not like, oh my god, he dropped water on us, or like, my hair.
There he.
Literally like, yes! Free shower! But actually, there's like, I have a bunch of funny interactions with idols from like my time in Seoul. But I guess it's something for the concert and fan meet episode. Like talking about the interactions. But I can say it's pretty more, like it's more common, I think, in Korea to get interactions, like the fan service interactions, than in Europe. In Europe, I think it's harder in Europe. Yeah.
And at fan meets, concerts, and fan signs, etc., you can also spot fan sites.
Yahoo!
These are fans that take pictures of idols with high-end cameras, big as objects, and profit off of selling these pictures, like because they aren't official pictures, they post themselves on like Instagram, Twitter, and everything, like the idols themselves or like the company. So you can sell them because they're like one in a lifetime pictures no one else get to see but you if you buy that picture. Some like them because of like the high quality photos they provide. Some hate them for the annoying and noisy shatter sound during like all those events, and some behave like idiots. Sorry, not sorry. And also, there are different kind of regulations. Actually, you will find more fan sites if you are at like an event in Korea than in Europe or America, because the venues at like a concert or stuff, actually in America and Europe look even further and what you have with you. because you really can't take a high-end camera, not even like an old digital camera or anything, not even if you just have a small little thing to make your camera on your phone better. Not even that is allowed here. So it's kind of more strict here than in Korea itself.
Oh, but actually, to be fair, it's also depending, I think, on the arena where you are, like the venue in Korea, because I remember that at the Exner Heroes venue, they also said, like JYP themselves said, that they don't allow cameras in it. They don't allow it, but the thing is, you're still gonna have like a minimum of like 10 people next to you with like big ass cameras, and they're like, every time a line speaks, or it's just a small break, it's like the whole time. Like, yeah, but for the boys, I think in the KSPO Dome, I'm not sure, but I think they were like no cameras. They were just like a pretty decent amount of fan sites. But in Europe, it's actually like in Europe, it's really better, as Laura said. Like, if you have a fan site, most of the time in Europe they get kicked out. In Korea, they're gonna be there. They're literally gonna be there. I never experienced that any fan site got kicked out, sadly. Yeah, and if you, by the way, Laura, if we ever go to Idol Radio, you might also consider taking a leather with you, because if you're late, the fan sites actually have ladders to like climb on and then take pictures of the idols there. I love fan sites.
Yeah.
Not.
A thing for themselves, I would say.
Yeah. And that's actually also more common in Western, like Europe and America, in the Western part of K-pop. And not a real thing in Korea, because you have more like fan service and fan interactions, are high touch and high wave. And every time I think we both explain high touch or high wave to someone, they're literally like, why would you pay for that? Yep, yeah, because. And a high wave or a high touch is actually fans pay a bit extra to pass their idols after show or just right before, and wave with them, or maybe like high five them, tell them 2 words, and go cry about it later at the halter because, oh my god, I was in front of him.
So, to be honest, those were a lot of words, and there are for sure even more that could make it into this episode, but I think that's fine for right now. And we've covered a lot, actually. And we don't want to kill your brain with more weird stuff.
I think we even killed our brains with that one.
Maybe you'll find some other words that we didn't describe by now, so feel free to comment them under our Twitter post, underneath the YouTube video, or anywhere.
Yeah, maybe not on Spotify.
No shit, Sherlock. Yeah, because that's not possible.
Not now. Who knows? Spotify update next week. No. They should maybe fix their shuffle by now. Please. Okay. Finally, moving on to the last part of this episode, actually. Our song and drama recommendations. And in this section, we're gonna present to you our weekly favorites. Mostly, Laura's gonna talk about the song and like the song part, and me's gonna yap about dramas, because I watch a lot more dramas, and I think I watched a lot more dramas compared to you. But sometimes I might also shoot in like a song, like yeah, or maybe check out our Twitter to see my hopefully almost daily song recs.
Yeah, and beginning with the song, a song that's like playing up and down for me right now, it hasn't been released for that long, is Deer Hunter by Team. And when we like first watched the MV, we were both just open mouth, and actually, you don't believe it? Luma wasn't talking. It was actually also flabbergasted.
Yeah,
And she wasn't talking, believe me or not.
Kay was killing me, okay?
But like just everything about the song, even though it's in Japanese. Because Team is like Japanese members and everything. The choreography, the MV, how it's all looking is just chef's kiss. Perfect. Perfection at its own.
And my drama part is gonna be about Weak Hero Class 1. Because hopefully, actually, it should have been released on the 25th of January. Sadly, it was postponed. We still don't have a date, like a release date. But we are watching Study Group, another drama right now. And there's the villain that was also actually in the drama in Weak Hero Class 1. Not gonna spoil it, Laura, because she didn't see it. She still needs to see it. That's why I'm like trying to watch my mouth. But Weak Hero Class 1 is about a student, and he actually wants to succeed. Like, he's just hardworking, but he is kind of a little, yeah. I'm not sure if it's like a little is good, but he's a pretty damn psychopath. like if he's annoyed by something, he'll just let you know in a very friendly way. And boy is getting into, like, he's getting bullied in school. Like, yeah, it's not a K-drama without bullying. But the more you watch it, the more you get invested in it. And there is no open ending. So I need season 2. Like, literally, I'm waiting for season 2, like, to be released. And it's not gonna be released, like, soon. But please, let it be released soon. But maybe Laura can watch it, and then we can, like, both inhale season 2. And it's good. So yeah, Weak Hero Class 1, season 2, hopefully soon. My recommendation of the week.
Well, yeah, that was actually it for our first official episode of our podcast. And stay tuned for our following content, and stay safe and have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.